everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury. So today, this is sort of like a rewind. While I was in Florida, I went with my sister to the Lakeland Antique Mall. Now, if you're not familiar, this is not just any old antique shopping. They get overflow items, they get park like artifacts, they get stuff directly from Universal Studios and Walt Disney World. Things from hotels, things from the parks, all sorts of stuff. So it's really cool. And of course, it's also a mix of other types of antiquing. But because I love Disney the way that I do, my focus while I'm there is going to be on the Disney and the Universal merchandise that I see there. So this is a little bit different than my typical vlogs because when we went there, it was a bit spontaneous. I didn't have my camera on me, but I took a lot of photos. So I'm gonna sort of put it together as a montage and we'll talk about all these different things that I saw and how amazing they were. This is stuff that like you're not gonna see anywhere else. So I hope you enjoy this. Let's go look around the Lakeland Antique Mall. So this is the Lakeland Antique Mall and is located in Lakeland, Florida. Before we even got inside, we found this gem. It's a horse-drawn carriage from Disney. When I first walked in, I was feeling pretty overwhelmed. This place is huge. There was so much going on and so much to see. So we started meandering around and looking for Disney memorabilia. Right away, we found a lot of vintage items, but it was all intermingled and with other non-Disney, like typical antique shop type of goods. So it was like you'd be looking at like a unicorn and then all of a sudden it's Pinocchio. But the stuff that they did have were real gems. The more we explored, the more I came to understand it was set up more like a compartment store with different booths or sections. And some of those were dedicated strictly to Disney and others were a combination and some were just entirely different goods. There were other things like, different brands. There were things that were like clothing or furniture or just vintage odds and ends, glassware, all sorts of stuff. But I'm going to focus on the Disney things. Then as I continued to explore, I started to find some more unique items, like a no parking sign from Pop Century. One of the things I did notice was that there seemed to be a lot of items from Home Goods that I recall seeing this Halloween season, like these Ghost Mickey and Minnies over here. There are also a lot of overflow items and merchandise, like these cookie jars from 2022's Cookie Stroll, and for the record, this picture was taken in 2024. They had carry cases from the Droid Depot for the Astromechs, where you can sort of build your own droid, and another overflow item that I saw several of were sipper cups, in this case, Dumbo. Then one random thing I came across that I wanted to show was that they had these McDonald's Happy Meal boxes that were like preserved and kept in good condition. Then I got to the back area. And that's when I noticed all the items that they had in the back tend to come directly from the parks or the resorts. Like this piece of art featuring Goofy, or a rug that was originally at the All-Star Resort, or an end table. I saw that they had some Christmas decorations over here as well. Then I got a closer look, and these decorations came from the parks. These were decorations up in Epcot. I found this really strange Donald bust, and when I read the sign that was near it, it said that it was thought to be part of a ride, like the kind that you would see outside of a supermarket for a kid. There were also lots and lots of Loungefly bags. The price points on them seemed to be between $50 to $70, and it varied booth by booth, but there really didn't seem to be a huge discount on them. They did have some cool Star Wars items like these Rebel pilot helmets as well as lightsabers. These are some of my favorite things I came across while I was here, and that's these jackets. I was able to talk to the vendor that was in this area, and they let me know that these jackets actually belong to former Disney Imagineers. They were telling me that they get these items, they get to meet with the Imagineer and get to hear their stories about what it was like working on and developing these attractions. I thought that was so cool and really touching a piece of Disney history in these moments. There were also artifacts like this one from the parks, where this is a window from Main Street. I also found a lot of furniture. Some of it was furniture designed with Disney themes, but then there was furniture that actually came from Disney property, like this headboard from Wilderness Lodge, or this wall lamp from the Poly, or pop art from the Contemporary. They also had plates and flatware from restaurants and resorts. There's a point where I came across these awards and they had them locked in a case, and when I looked at them, I realized what they were. These are cast member milestone awards, and as a former cast member myself, personally, I couldn't imagine ever parting with a milestone award. So these are something that was probably deeply personal to the person who originally had it, and I was really surprised to come across them here. I also found an area that had original e-tickets that were framed. So e-tickets, way back in the day, were how you got on rides. You weren't paying for admission to the park, it was sort of like pay per ride, and the more exciting or e-rides required more tickets or more cost of ticket. And that's what these were. These were the e-tickets. There was also no shortage of Haunted Mansion representation. They had a display set up in the back, and it made my Haunted Mansion heart happy. Then there were these scary, nostalgic costumes because, well, in the 80s, these were the costumes we wore. I had a Wonder Woman costume that was very reminiscent of this. Speaking of things that were a little bit scary, there were also a bunch of items from Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, like this Rob Zombie buggy. Now this is life-size. This is like the size of a car. This is not small in scale. I also found these great posters and all of this merch. There was also this cast of characters on the back wall. So that was my experience down in Florida at the Lakeland Antique Mall. As you can see, they have lots of unique stuff. And they also have lots of items from the parks, right? They had those overflow items, sippers, different lounge flies available. They also had furniture. So when they do renovations of the hotels, sometimes that overflow furniture, that ends up at the Lakeland Antique Mall. So there was like Christmas decorations from Epcot that were actually hanging up at Epcot. Like, how cool is that? So it's a great place to find some stuff. There are some bargains to be found, but generally I found the prices to be fair and on point with, like, resale prices. But it's stuff that's like you're not going to come across anywhere else, and that's what makes it super cool. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and with that I am done for the day. I will see you all real soon, and until then, stay inspired. Bye everyone. Take care.